Okay, hey, welcome back to the community podcast here at Big Condo Radio. My name is Chase Johnson Lynch, and I'm your host. And I'm Zooming today. I'm Zooming from our studio here in Vauxhall Road, but I'm revisiting a guest that we had on earlier during these pandemic times, a lovely young author. Who was in the middle of her second book, and she was talking about her second book. But in that time frame, she's written a third and everything. And not only that, but she's also joined by her mother, who is also an author. So I thought this would be a great interview here during Black History Month to talk to these lovely ladies. So right beside me is Dr. Sylvia Forchap-Likambi and her daughter, Latoya. How you doing, ladies?
Hi.
Fine, thank you.
Hi, Chase. Fine, thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, you know what? Listen, no problem. Because first of all, I'm a huge fan and everything. And I said, you know what? We can also talk to both of you because I think at this time frame and this month of Black History Month, when I'm looking at telling stories of Black excellence, I love not just the fact that Latoya, who now, you were 13 before, you still 13?
I'm 14 now.
14 now.
Yeah.
But to follow in her mother's footsteps, who is also an author. We're not going to ask your age, Dr. Sylvia, don't worry about it. But in that aspect you look good for your age. But in that aspect is that both of you are involved in writing and authorship. So thank you. But first, let's start with Latoya if we can, because I want to go into, we are returning to your character of Casey, your heroine Casey. And this particular book, which is out now, by the way. You can actually get your own copy of this book, Casey's Diary and the Anderson Adventure. And I remember you told us about it last time. Look at them holding up that book. But you know what? We're going to have the book in a clearer picture on the screen below. So don't worry about it, ladies. But remind us, shall we say, of Casey, who's going on the Anderson Adventure.
So basically, from the beginning, Casey was really like a really young and really confident character in my book, and she was like the main character in my very first book, and she had like a really huge level of confidence, and she was known for the confidence. And this was here in my first book, which was Short Stories by Latoya-Likambi. And then as she grew older and she got into my first Casey's Diary and she got into middle school, she developed low self-esteem, she became less confident, and she started trying to fit into other friend groups. So basically, she betrayed her friend group, and by the end of that story, she found her confidence again, and her friends forgave her. And the key messages in those two books, are confidence, forgiveness, and acceptance. And then in my newest book, what happens is we get to see a bit more of Casey's family, and it's all about appreciating your family.
So where are they going? Are they on a road trip or a family trip? Where are they going?
So in the first half is basically about school, and basically a new girl comes and she helps improve Casey's confidence, because in the last book, even though she did gain her confidence, it's not like she's always going to stay there, and there's little things that get in her way sometimes. So this girl, she's here not to just she's not there for Casey to always rely on, but she's there to help Casey understand her worth and show her that she is more than enough. And then in the second half, her family goes on vacation for her little sister's birthday, and it's basically all about her sister. And Casey is she's kind of jealous, but not really jealous. It's just because her sister is the youngest, so her sister always gets
she's
attention.
the baby, and she's getting the attention and all that. Yeah. And so does she have to learn along the way, basically, to change?
Yeah, she does. In the end, she learns that she becomes grateful. She realizes that I should be grateful that I even have a family in the first place, and she appreciates her family. But they still will have problems every now and then. or like their ups and downs, but she has learned to like appreciate them when she like most of the time.
You know, I got to tell you, Latoya, what I really enjoy about Casey's adventures, as you've been telling them, is the fact that she doesn't grow up. I mean, she's on book 3, and she's still a young little girl, still going through her trials and tribulations. And so you can see how other young girls can follow along with these adventures, because there's something in the simplicity of the adventure. It's not like she's chasing down ghosts and you know what I mean, she's fighting monsters or anything like that. She's really just kind of like dealing with the I wouldn't want to call it the horrors in her soul, but she's really kind of like that battle of self-confidence is huge. I mean, I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you as a young girl, it's like so many young girls of your preteen age are always battling some form of self-confidence, aren't they?
Yes, yes. And that's also like how I got another like idea for Casey's diary, is when I started seeing people around me like struggling with bullying and struggling with things like that. It's just like things I see every day, or like girls with similar insecurities. I decided to like put that into my book so that people can relate to it. And that's what a lot of people have told me when they read the book. They were like, oh, I relate to Casey. Like, I go through the same things as her, like peer pressure, bullying, things like that, like lack of confidence. And as Casey goes through the book and she gains her confidence, the readers can go through with her, and they can like, they get to like see what she does to get to the point where she is, and what she does to get her confidence back, and like they learn to accept themselves and be grateful, and learn that they are beautiful.
And obviously, we don't want to spoil that ending or how she does it, but it's just great to know that she has a friend that also kind of like comes into this scenario, and it's like how people play to it. Now, last thing about the Anderson adventure, I mean, being that we followed Casey through these earlier stories, are we going to explore the family more? I mean, like with each book, are we going to get more into who the family are? It's kind of like that character of Ms. Marvel. Do you know what I mean? I'm a superhero geek, you know, but her family is a big portion of the story, you know. So are we going to follow more or learn more about the Andersons?
Yes, in the second half, you get to learn much, much more about the family and their characteristics and their personality, and like the family traits and family traditions. And then in the next book that I'm already planning, the whole book is just going to be about her family and them during lockdown and things like that. So it's all going to be about her family.
So first we see the Andersons on an adventure, and now we see them locked down and in isolation and fight, right? Let me ask you, I mean, because your mother's sitting right next to you, is that how did your family deal with isolation and everything? Because, you know, to inspire probably this 4th book, how are you guys dealing with it?
It wasn't that bad, to be honest. The only thing that was quite like upsetting a bit, or like a bit boring, is like I didn't get to see my friends and go out, but it was really good. Like we had a structured timetable at the start. We had like homeschool, and we had to like wake up at the same time, do everything on time. But then as it got to the summer holidays, it got better, and then I got to speak to my friends. But now I'm back in school physically, like I get to go and see my friends again, so I'm happy about that.
I'm really glad about that. I mean, that was one of the things in the delay of the video is that, you know, Dr. Sylvia had to say, yeah, she's in school now and everything. So I was really glad to hear that you're enjoying that. What about you, Sylvia? It's like, I mean, if anybody's a fan of yours, you know, I mean, you have a big presence on social media, LinkedIn and everything. How has the lockdown been for you?
Oh my goodness. Honestly, I would say it's been fantastic. Honestly. Yeah, it's kind of helped me slow down. So that's one good thing, because
slow down with all that working out you were doing. What do you mean slow down?
I know it doesn't seem like I've slowed down, isn't it? Because I would have done physical conferences, events, and they take more time and energy. But now virtually, it's amazing. It's amazing. You just sit at home. Honestly, and it's giving us a lot more time, like with the family, with the children. And for me, you know, I've loved it. I loved it, and it's helped me for the very first time with my husband. We've had to exercise together, because you know I was doing a live exercise, you know, on Facebook, helping a lot of people, which was a huge thing to me because a lot of people came back with incredible feedback. I just started, you know, for fun's sake, but when people were coming with the feedback, how they've never exercised for years, it's impacted them. We kept going. My husband joined on day 31, you know, and that was amazing. We went
that's just like a guy. I'll come in late. But
yeah, I always believe in crisis, you can always find the opportunity. I mean, for some, you know, of course, they've been like incidences where people have lost their life. For me, we had to reflect a lot, change our lifestyle completely, you know, eating habits to try and boost our immune system as well. So, and I'm super positive and optimistic. So I did a lot of workshops on resilience. So I just kept, you know, inspiring people, sending messages out there, because honestly, the whole thing is all in the mind. If we actually are conquered by fear, then it's going to affect us more, because COVID is just another virus that if we believe that it's so bigger than us, and a lot of people have been affected more by fear than the virus itself. So I think I played a huge role in just inspiring people, you know, encouraging them, trying to change them, not trying to, you know, empowering them to change their mindset.
Yeah. So tell me, like, you know, because I don't know what number book this is, but like you had taken the time out, you know, to write this new book, Success Blueprint, right? So can you tell? Oh, look at that! It's right in your face. I told you it's going to be right there at the bottom of the screen, and everything. So just tell us about success, because the main thing is during this recording, the book only just came out. So tell us about Success Blueprint and how we can find it.
Yeah, actually, thank you so much. So yeah, it's my fourth book. I did a lot of work on it during the lockdown, and it was ready at the same time with Latoyas, but you know, as a mom, I need to support her. I didn't want to release my book at the same time with her. I wanted all the limelight, all the attention to be on her. So I had to hold on and give some time, 2 weeks, so we focused on her, and then mine was released actually on Saturday. And we're going to promote together now. And you can find it on Amazon. It's also on various retailer site like Waterstones and all of that, and also on our website, because we have a publishing company, www.likambiglobalpublishing.com. If you want autographed copies, then you can get it from there, and we'll sign it to you with a beautiful message, as well as Latoya's one. We'll send it to you, or you can get it from Amazon. You can also get the Kindle version. Right now it's just $1.99 for the Kindle version, because I want a lot of people to really understand that success is their birthright. So it's really kind of like timeless principles to identify, you know, what true success means to everyone, and go out there, plan and achieve success in every area of their life, irrespective of crisis. You know, we could still thrive and succeed. In fact, this book was written during the lockdown, during one of the most challenging time on planet Earth, and my daughter's book as well. So we can truly still thrive in challenging times. So it really gives people that blueprint, that roadmap, those ideas, you know, principles that if you apply, there's no way you're not going to be successful in every area of your life.
Yeah, because you said like it is a lot about overcoming challenges and everything like that, you know. And so what I was asking for really was like a little like a sneaky peek, you know, right? You know, I mean, give us one of those, you know, blueprints, like one of those like ideas that you are.
Awesome. One of the blueprints. I mean, like you said, yeah, overcoming challenges, obviously, but I have another book, which is really 7 powerful strategies for overcoming life challenges. Yeah, that's another book, the book that I had before this one. But like you said, one of the key things, and given that we're in Black History Month, that I might really focus on, which is the first blueprint, is identity.
Nice.
And it states that if you don't know who you are or what you want in life, there is a great tendency that you're going to settle for a mediocre life. Therefore, in order to live an all-fulfilling and successful life, it is paramount that we go back to the basics of self-identification. Who are you? Because it will tell you, you know, your strengths, your gifts, your talents, your full potential, what you love, what you are passionate about, what true success means to you. And only then can you go out and live the life you were born to live, not that which society dictates, or your parents or your friends, or you try to fit in. You're going to live wholeheartedly and fully your life purpose. So I think the first blueprint is identity.
You know, I got to tell you, I mean, I love that, not only because it's a segue into what I want to talk about next, but it reminds me of Denzel Washington in that movie Flight, where the key line was the last line, which is like, who are you? Right? And it's like, that is something that I think not just us as Black, brown, or whatever people, you know, that we wonder who we can identify as. But identity is the key, isn't it? Because I think it's like when you don't know who you are, it's really pretty difficult to find other people in your life, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? You know, and in that aspect, it's like I look forward to kind of like checking that out. You know, but like I said, it was a nice segue because, like I said, I wanted to, you know, talk to different people because I'm educating myself. You know, I mean, like I could say I'm educating myself through television, right? Because I'm watching several different programs that are finally spilling the tea on our history, which has been scrubbed out, whitewashed, disappeared to the point where our children have no clue about certain things. And so, like, I always recommend people always learn about yourself and about your history. And I was just curious, you know, like being that I'm talking to two strong women, you know, I just was asking you guys about, like, what do you know, or I say about, you know, I call it Black excellence, but basically, you know, what do you know about your history around, you know, like just Black women or Black people in general that we haven't learned in school because we don't have Black studies. You know, and I mentioned, and it's kind of like wrong to me because I'm trying to like really educate myself now, right? Because you know, like people are not just Black, you know, kind of like as Latoya was saying, it's kind of like when you see an Asian person, like in you say, you don't even bother to wonder whether they're Chinese, Japanese, or Korean. Do you know what I mean? So when you see an African person, there's so many different places in Africa that where is that person from? You know, from Nigeria or from sub-Saharan, from Sudan, all of that. You know, we don't bother to actually worry about identity. But if we did, and if we actually peel back the layer, we will see so many different things. So in my mistake, you told me that you were from Cameroon, didn't you, Sylvia?
Yeah, yeah.
So then I said to you, oh, so then you must know Queen Nanny from the Maroons. And then you're like, what? No, I don't. You had to ask your husband, you know, no, I don't know. And everything. And then I just assumed that Maroon was Cameroon, and it's not. Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so, but she was a powerful queen of her people, you know, who has escaped, you know, slavery and managed to carve out her own area or society, you know, and they actually were the ones, she was actually tantamount in creating what we know as guerrilla warfare today. Have you ever heard of guerrilla warfare, Latoya?
No, I haven't.
Well, it was just the idea. You've seen it in movies all the time, you know, like when you see soldiers putting like black or green on their faces and everything,
Yeah.
and they're camouflaging themselves with leaves.
Yes.
That's guerrilla warfare, and it was created by a Black queen named Nanny and everything. And she was known as Nanny of the Maroons. And I'm like, why do we not know this? We just think that Arnold Schwarzenegger invented war paint. You know, and I mean, so for you, how does that feel to hear such a story, Latoya, about a woman who can actually be so effective for her people?
It's very like how to, it's really exciting, and it's really like, it's a really good thing because it's a thing that's like many people, I might not see them, but many people use it, and I've never knew where or who came up with it or who invented it. I was just like, I thought it was just like, you know, when you look at something and you just say, oh, it's this, like a book, and you're like, oh, it's just used for this, but you don't really think about like who made it or where it's from and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, exactly. But to me, when I learned about these things, because we have the internet, you know, but or we have the library, we have books. When I learned about these things, it makes me feel differently because I'm like, how come I didn't always know that? You know what I mean? And I mean, I don't think you're ever too old to learn anything. So what about you there, Sylvia? I mean, because we had this discussion before we talked. How does it feel for you to know such a powerful woman was that instrumental? Maybe it's instrumental in warfare, but it was mainly instrumental in saving her people.
Sorry?
I said it was mainly in warfare, but it was instrumental in saving her people. How does that make you feel?
I mean, it's quite inspiring. And honestly, I know now for sure that there are so many incredibly Black people who've done a lot for,
Exactly.
you know, civilization, for our world. So it doesn't surprise me at all. Even as a scientist, there's so many Blacks, Africans, you know, dark skin who've done a lot of stuff. And I'm really happy that things are beginning to come more to light. You know, the truth will always prevail. And I believe that most probably if others were not saying that, because maybe, I don't know, for whatever reason, because they wanted to keep most of the Africans or the dark-skinned people low, we need to say it more. You know, we know this now and we can speak out. We can be that true, you know, testimonial. We can write our own story, change the narratives that, hey, you know, you can be anything you want to be. You are amazing. You are unique. You're powerful. I know that there are so many. I've always known this, honestly. And because like I told you, Chase, I grew up in Cameroon. I was born in Cameroon. I didn't see a lot of like, you know, foreigners. And I met successful people. My dad was successful in the neighborhood where I live. So for me, it's the norm that Blacks, African, wherever you come from, get to be successful and thrive. For me, it was the norm until I left, you know, for my university. That's when I left Cameroon to Italy. Then I started seeing all of this, you know, segregation and separation, racism and all of that. But when I grew up, honestly, because one thing with Africans that you may know, we are so welcoming. In Africa where I grew up, they welcome all the whites. One of my dad's good friend, I think their senior manager was a white, so we didn't see that. We actually were like, we're warm. We were really, you know, the true essence of love, humanity. That's how most Africans are. In fact, they want to make the whites feel more at home. They are just welcoming. So for me, I didn't see that separation. Is when you come here that unfortunately you realize that they want to instantly put you down because you have a different skin color. So it's a complete opposite. So my own story might have been a bit different because I grew up in a country where, of course, maybe our forefathers were like taken away from slaves where I was not born. My parents were not born too, but I grew up like knowing that the norm, we are all 90% the same skin color. Or, and we welcome everyone who was not of the same skin color.
You know, it's excellent that you say that because the main thing about it is that like we're so stuck with the narrative that is taught in schools and in the books that are handed to us that like, you know, you're thinking like you just said, you're thinking that, okay, well, when the Africans came over here on boats and everything, that was like the late 1600s, and then they continued to the 1800s, and then it was abolished. Right. So after it was abolished, what do you think that those Africans did, you know, in their countries? They continued to thrive in their countries, like you're saying, like in the Cameroon. So they had different sort of lifestyles. But then if you look at American television, which I grew up on, you know, we're seeing the poorness of Africa, you know, like, hey, give them food, feed them and then feed the hungry and everything like that. And I swear, it's like until I saw Black Panther. Right? You know, when I saw Black Panther, I was kind of like, I was looking at videos from around the world, including Africa, where people were they had whole different lifestyles that I didn't think that they actually lived because I was told by the media that they didn't live this way. So do you see what I'm saying? It's such ignorance.
What did someone tell you about my upbringing?
Like it was when she grew up, it was much more like better than how
she's growing up now. Honestly, Chase,
I believe you.
People might think I'm fine.
Like her house is bigger than the house that we live in.
I know.
Where we live.
You're not the only person who said that. You're not the only person who said that, and that's the whole thing. It's kind of like the same thing where you got like asylum seekers. You know, there are asylum seekers who are escaping from their country, and then they have this, that, and other thing. But that doesn't mean that's all Africans. That doesn't mean that's all about music. So then you just kind of like see, oh, well, you're African, so you must be an asylum seeker. Oh, ho, 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 bro, what are you doing? why do you put me in a box? You know, you don't know me. You don't know where I'm from, right? So this is what I'm just trying to say. I just think it's just great that you were able to share that, Sylvia, because I think it's important that people see people for who they are. You know, ask other people about their cultures. That's what Black Lives Matter is supposed to be about. It's supposed to start conversations and to start people communicating and learning, right? And not assuming, making assumptions about other people and other cultures. So I just want to get back to you. I know I cut Latoya off because and I want you to still tell me who your inspirations are, you know, because I wasn't trying to say you should be inspired by Nanny, but because you gave me like 2 other people that are your inspirations, and who are they?
I actually have 3 also. I forgot to say this. One of my inspirations is my mom anyway herself.
Oh, check you out. Look at that. She's not giving you money.
I didn't say anything to her.
And then there's my favorite author, who is Rachel Renee Russell, and she also is like a huge part of like the reason why I was inspired to write Casey's Diary. And then also my favorite model, and she's also an actress, is Zendaya Coleman.
Yeah. And that's just Zendaya for most of you, the girl from the Disney Channel or from the Spider-Man movies.
I always used to watch her when I was little, all the time. I loved her so much.
You know what? You know, she just won the Emmy this year, and for a TV show she was on called Euphoria. And I mean, she is a fantastic inspiration to have because, you know, she has kept her head together. You know, she's one of the very few young Disney girls that kept their heads together. You know, and that's because she's got good parenting. So it's a great model for you. It's a great inspiration for you to have because she's definitely a young woman who has success and who has strong parents, you know, that keep her grounded. So well done on that. That's why I wanted to get back to that one. So now, Combi Global Publishing Company, right? What I wanted to say about that was because obviously both of you have, you know, written your books through your own like publishing company, but now that it's kind of like up and running, you're also taking on new authors and everything. So you told me about a new young lady who actually wrote a book and that came out on the 21st of September. And can you tell us more, Sylvia, who that is?
Yeah, great. So we opened this company because of Latoya. In fact, she's the co-founder. She told me she's going to publish 40 books by the time she gets to 16. And I'm thinking, like, if we need to pay others to do that, it will cost me a fortune.
Yeah.
We're getting a company for you. That's how it came about. Honestly, she was the inspiration behind the company. And initially, we thought it was just going to be a family thing for us, for our books. But then with everything, as we've been publishing, and a lot of people know the work she's been doing, and she's inspired a lot of young people around the globe. So we have this mother who contacted us, and her daughter wanted to publish a book as well, and they had no clue where to start, but they know Latoya is an author and she's really inspired her as well. And we said, yeah, we have a publishing company and we could support you. And they were so happy, and we supported them throughout the process, and it was an incredible process. In fact, they gave a very powerful testimony of what, you know, the experience working with us. And she just recently published her book. She's 12 as well, so she's our youngest author. And the book is The Babysitter. You can also get it on Amazon. She published it on the 21st of September, I think a few days after Latoya's book. Yes. And you can get it on Amazon. You can get it on the website as well, www.Likambi Global Publishing. And we've got 2 more people we are working with, but that would be for next year. We're just taking a bit at a time because I've got a lot of other things we are doing, but we have other consultants we work with. And the great thing is because we are authors ourselves, best-selling authors, we can really support them, give ideas, tips, and really guide them through the process.
You can open doors and stuff like that, you know. I mean, like it sounds like, I mean, I know, I have a book on Amazon myself, whatever, where like, you know, it's all about, you know, that continuing, you know, making more and more books. So I'm pretty sure Combi Global Publishing will be a name up there with like, you know, Simon and Schuster one day, you know, or Macmillan books and stuff like that, you know. I mean, because it's a good goal to have, I think. And I like the fact that you're looking to branch out to involve other authors, you know, because in that aspect, it just only makes your publishing company, you know, a force to be reckoned with, you know, for the future. Do you not think so?
60-second clip.
Yeah, I really think so. You want to tell her about your contest? She's also going to publish. Yeah.
So I'm hosting a contest from our website, and basically we're going to give so many kids the opportunity to publish with us. And there's a theme, and the specific theme is family and friendship. And you can write, and then you submit to us, and then we'll publish them all in one book, and then we'll put like all lovely illustrations and send them out to everyone who's entered the contest.
So you guys handle the illustrations?
We've just told them if they can, we're going to do that, but if they can give an idea, because it's their story, isn't it? We're going to collect maximum 50 short stories from these children. We're going to
maximum 50, you calling it? Maximum 50?
Maximum 50
I like
stories.
It.
So 50 people can send in. It doesn't matter. The age is between 9 and 16 years of age. And it's going to be published in December. So the whole idea, we want them to give an idea. If you're talking about a family of 3, put an illustration there, but it wouldn't impact their getting into the contest. It's just for us to have an idea, but we will take care, our team will take care of the illustration. So if we know that, for example, you're talking about a family of 3, mom, dad, just to give an idea, because we believe with illustrations, it will bring it more to life, isn't it?
And it'll make it more like eye-catching.
Yeah, and she'll be the one to select the winners. I mean, those who have a great story, of course, because it's because of her.
So,
more young people.
All right, so give me the deadline again and say, so the deadline for maximum 50 is, go.
31st of October 2020. So it's the 31st of October this month for them to register and send in their short stories.
Wow, this is fantastic. I mean, you know, my kid only just turned 17, so I'm upset. But he's been writing so much.
Me and said, my daughter is 18, can she join? I'm like, sorry, we'll do another one for adults, so please.
Young. Anyway,
it's all for her. We want to inspire. We believe a lot of children have great potential as well. And we know that in schools there are usually these opportunities because you have a short story published in a group, but we want to give them, because not many children know about this, and we are not putting any like barriers. It doesn't matter where you come from. It doesn't. You just send your story, you know, and all of that, and they will be published. We'll write their names there for each story, their age, where they are found, maybe if it's in Liverpool and all of that. So I think it will be a very, very exciting opportunity for them, and to give them that platform as well. So they see themselves like, oh, I have my story in a book. And who knows, they can go and do their own book all by themselves of short stories and become published authors.
I just gotta say to you guys, I mean, I'm very inspired. I find you're very inspiring women. This is fantastic. I'm loving this maximum 50 contest. Let's all get on to that. Don't overflood them. So where would they have to send their stuff to?
They'll have to send it to contest@likambiglobalpublishing.com. Contest@likambiglobalpublishing.com.
Okay.
And I think
what I'll do is I'll try and put that on the screen below and everything, and stuff. But again, that's fantastic. I mean, I believe that's our time. You know, I just want to thank you, ladies, once again for coming on to Big Condo Radio, sharing your stories, sharing your journey and your inspirations and stuff, and also announcing this contest and everything, because I think it's fantastic. You need to get it out there. And so, you know, please follow them. Contest at Likambi Global Publishing, maximum 50, deadline October 31st. We also have Sylvia's new book, Success Blueprint, coming out. And we have Casey's Diary, The Anderson Adventure, already out. So if you didn't know, now you know. And everything. So, ladies, thank you for joining me here today. Dr. Sylvia, Latoya, and everything.
You.
No problem. So
thank you so much for having us. Thank you. We're so grateful to be on your show. Thank you.
worries, no worries. Thank you for coming. I'm Chase Johnson Lynch. You've been watching Big Condo Radio, the community podcast, and I'm out of here. So, peace.